I'm not a man who seeks drama. I fix problems. I don't create them. For 13 years, I've lived a methodical life. Wake up at 6, check the weather, brew coffee, drive to my engineering job. Same route, same radio station, half listening to news about politics or sports. Then return home, greet my wife, eat dinner, maybe tinker in the garage. It's comforting, predictable. Until tonight. The glow of the street lamp outside my driveway flickers through my car's windshield. It's past 10. Overtime at the office, unexpected system breakdown. All I want is to slide under warm sheets next to Melissa. Let my mind drift, leaving behind the endless data I was sifting through. The house is silent when I turn the key in the front door. Usually, she leaves the hallway light on. Tonight, it's dark. I drop my keys on the console table. Something feels off, an unspoken tension in the air. The silence is so profound it hovers. My nerves tighten. My gaze darts around, searching for an explanation, a spilled drink, or maybe a note taped to the fridge. Nothing. I start up the stairs, pausing when I catch a muffled sound from our bedroom. A low rustle. My breath jams in my throat. Instantly, my mind leaps to 100 logical possibilities. Melissa stumbling out of bed to grab the phone, rummaging for a blanket. But the sound intensifies. A strained moan, a moment of hushed voices. Blood pounds in my ears, and I step faster, skipping the last 2 steps. My heart is no longer simply beating. It's hammering. My bedroom door, half open, frames a sight I wish I never had to see. Melissa's tangled blonde hair fans across the pillow. She's not alone. A man. I recognize him in a flash as the guy from her phone's contact list once. Gabe, if memory serves, leans over her, their limbs knot together, the sheets twisted around them. They don't notice me yet. He's shirtless. She's naked, except for the dim glow of the bedside lamp catching the curve of her shoulder, the arch of her back. I freeze. My pulse roars like a broken siren in my head. The hallway spins. I watch her nails dig into his back. Hear a stifled moan. This time, I can't pretend I misunderstood. It's raw. It's real. My wife in another man's arms. In our bed. I want to scream, but the sound sticks in my throat. I step forward, fists clenched. I fling the door open with enough force to crack it against the wall. They jolt. Melissa's eyes shoot open. She tries to yank the sheet up, but the damage is done. The man scrambles to cover himself, face contorted with shock. My chest seizes with fury, heartbreak, betrayal, all at once. Drew. Melissa gasps, voice shaking. It's not. I laugh. A harsh, bitter sound. Not what, Melissa? Not what it looks like. Because it sure as hell looks like you're screwing him. She pulls the sheet higher over her chest. Gabe looks from me to her, then back. Hey man, calm down, he manages. Calm down. My voice cracks. I've never felt this kind of rage, like I might lift the bed and fling it across the room. Get out of my house. He stumbles out of bed, grabbing his pants from the floor. Everything's happening in jagged slices of time. The lamp toppling, Melissa shrieking, my fists trembling at my sides. I can't even think properly. I turn away, stride into the hall, letting him rush past in a half-dressed scramble. Moments later, the door downstairs slams. He's gone. Melissa tries to follow me. I spin to face her, a million questions storming my mind. My voice trembles. How long? Her lower lip quivers. She doesn't answer. I snap. How long have you been doing this, Melissa? She shakes her head, tears gathering. But I'm too angry to pity her. Drew, I was lonely. We barely talk anymore. You're always working. My laugh returns, cold and hollow. Great. Blame me. That's rich. She whispers. It just happened. I never planned for it. Gabe and I. Don't say his name. My voice cuts like a blade. Don't you dare. I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket, but I ignore it. My entire reality has crashed in one blow. My wife of over a decade, mother of my child, in our own bed with someone else. My brain wears. How many times? Where else? All the trust, the nights we shared, the mornings we woke up next to each other. It all crumbles in a single moment. The anger surges. I can't stay in that room with her. I storm downstairs, ignoring her choked calls of my name. My breathing is ragged as I step into the living room. The couch is my witness. We cuddled here last Christmas morning, sipping hot chocolate, watching our kid tear open presents. Now it's a battlefield. I slump onto it, burying my face in my hands. Melissa appears at the edge of my vision. She's hastily pulled on her robe, face ashen, eyes red. Drew, I'm sorry. I can't even form words. I shut my eyes, wanting to vanish. Then a small voice from upstairs. Mom, Dad, our son, Timmy. My heart seizes again. This entire nightmare, and now he's awake. He's only 8, but old enough to sense tension. He pads down, teddy bear clutched in his arms. Is everything okay? He whispers. Melissa tries to smile through tears. Go back to bed, honey. Timmy looks at me, then at her. He says quietly, Mom, you said on the phone. You said Dad was. Her eyes widen. Timmy, stop. My stomach flips. What did you hear? Timmy glances from me to Melissa. You said to that guy on the phone that Dad's never around. And that maybe I'm not even Dad's son. I shoot up from the couch. Blood drains from my face. What are you talking about? Melissa's eyes brim with panic. She rushes toward Timmy, but I hold a hand up, stopping her. Let him speak. Timmy hesitates, tears filling his eyes. He's confused, scared. Mom said maybe I'm not Dad's, that you guys adopted me or something. Confusion. Then pain slams me like a train. I stare at Melissa. Explain. She stammers. I never said that. I said something else, or maybe I was just upset. Timmy misunderstood. He didn't misunderstand. I see guilt etched in the lines of her face. My entire world warps again. It's not only about infidelity. There's a chance Timmy isn't biologically mine. My hands shake so violently that I clasp them together, pressing them against my thighs to keep from shattering. Drew, let's, please, she begs, stepping closer. We can talk in private. He's just a kid. He doesn't understand. My voice rings out, cold and raw. Go to bed, Timmy. We'll talk in the morning. He looks from me to Melissa, tears sliding down his cheeks, then nods and disappears upstairs. Once he's gone, I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. That's not true, right? My voice quivers. I'm his father. Biologically. She rubbed her arms like she's suddenly cold. Yes, of course. I never planned on. It was a slip. I said something when I was frustrated. He twisted my words. I stare at her, studying her face for any trace of sincerity. You're lying. Her cheeks flush. Drew, please. I sink into a dining chair, trying to reel in my emotions. I want answers. You owe me at least that. She stands across from me, arms crossed over her robe. She won't meet my gaze. I'm sorry, Gabe. It just kind of started with texting. I thought it was harmless. Then it escalated. I never meant to hurt you like this. As for Timmy, I don't know. I got pregnant around the same time I had a brief fling, but that was before I married you. I always assumed Timmy was yours. I only told Gabe maybe, that we weren't 100% sure. But I never planned for it to go so far. My body turns numb. She's basically confirming that there's a question about Timmy's paternity. A question she kept hidden from me for 8 years. My mind drifts to memories of Timmy's birth, how I pressed my forehead to Melissa's, tears of joy in my eyes, whispering that he was perfect. Was I living a lie? I jump up so abruptly I nearly topple the chair. You cheat on me and you hide that I might not be Timmy's father. This is insane. She clasps her mouth, tears streaming down her cheeks. I was scared to lose you. I bark a hollow laugh. You've lost me now. For a split second, I consider storming out. But it's my house, my child. No matter what the biology says, I raised him. The realization hits me like a punch. I love Timmy more than my own life. I can't just walk away. But I also can't stand in the same space as Melissa. Without another word, I march to the guest room on the first floor, slam the door, and lock it. My heart thuds violently. Images of Melissa and Gabe swirl in my mind. The hush of her voice as she called him by name. The curve of her hips under his hands. A wave of nausea hits me. At some point, I hear Melissa's muffled sobs from the hallway. I ignore them. The rest of the night is a battlefield in my mind. I don't sleep. Instead, I replay the scene over and over. Rage flares, then heartbreak, then a terrifying numbness. I open my phone, scrolling through any old texts that might confirm my suspicions, searching for clues I missed. I find random calls in the log from a number I don't recognize. Some are after midnight or right before I get home. Adrenaline rushes, but exhaustion weighs me down. My eyelids feel heavy, yet my soul won't rest. Somewhere around 4 in the morning, I realize one thing with absolute clarity. I need proof. Proof about Timmy, about the extent of Melissa's affair, about everything. This is beyond a quick fix or an apology. I'm done being in the dark. I rest my head against the wall, listening to the hum of the refrigerator in the next room. My heart constricts. Timmy's question echoes in my head. Am I adopted? The absolute confusion and pain in his little voice crush me. If there's one thing I know, it's that I won't let him feel unloved or abandoned, no matter what the test results say. But first, I need the truth. The next day starts in a haze. The sun creeps through the blinds, painting a stripe across my face. My mouth feels dry, stomach cramped from lack of food, and too much tension. I shuffle into the kitchen, ignoring the closed bedroom door upstairs. I'm halfway through making coffee when Timmy appears, hair rumpled, eyes puffy. Melissa must still be in our bedroom. He clutches my sleeve. Dad? I kneel so we're eye level. Hey, champ. His voice wobbles. Are you and Mom okay? I hug him gently. We'll figure things out. My throat tightens as I add, no matter what happens, I'm always here for you. He nods. There's a sadness in his eyes I've never seen before. Something breaks in me. This is all so messed up. I send Timmy off to get dressed, telling him I'll drive him to school. Usually that's Melissa's job, but I can't bear the awkwardness right now. By the time I return to the kitchen for coffee, Melissa is there. She's wearing sweatpants, an old t-shirt, and the look of someone who got even less sleep than I did. I'm so sorry, she whispers. I run a hand over my face. Don't. Not now. I'm getting Timmy to school, then I'm going to work. I'll call a lawyer. She flinches. Lawyer? It was a mistake. I slammed the coffee mug on the counter. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. Cheating in my own bed while there's a doubt about Timmy's paternity. That's a whole new level of betrayal. Don't beg me to just let this slide. Tears spill down her cheeks. Drew, please. I love you. Gabriel was. My anger boils. Stop. If you really loved me, you wouldn't have let him in our bed. You wouldn't have lied all these years. Everything else is just an excuse. She opens her mouth to say something, but Timmy appears in the doorway, backpack in hand, eyes flicking anxiously between us. I swallow my rage. We both know we can't fight in front of him, so we exit the house quietly. I buckle Timmy into the car, giving Melissa the cold shoulder. As I pull out of the driveway, I catch her reflection in the rearview mirror. She stands at the window, hugging her arms to her chest, crying. Despite the heartbreak, I feel no sympathy. Not now. On the drive, Timmy stares out the window. I want to explain it all, but what do I say? That his mother betrayed us, and he might not be my biological son. No, he's 8. He deserves a childhood, not this chaos. We reach his school, and he glances at me. Dad, you won't leave, right? My heart clenches. I'm not leaving you, Timmy. I promise. He exhales, nods, and climbs out. I watch him hurry into the brick building. As soon as he disappears, I feel the tears burning behind my eyes. But I can't break down here. I have to keep moving, keep functioning. I glance at my phone. I have half a dozen missed calls from Melissa, plus texts from her. Apologies, please. My anger flares again. If I could toss my phone out the window, I might. But I need it. I need to start investigating. My father once told me, when your heart is broken, your mind must do the work. So I plan to follow that advice. I'll gather evidence, find out how long she's been cheating, and get a paternity test for Timmy. Then I'll figure out a plan, because if there's one thing I can't abide, it's being the fool in my own house. I'm no fool. And Melissa's about to realize that. I sit at my desk in the manufacturing firm, laptop open, mind miles away from the blueprint I'm supposed to review. The hum of the overhead fluorescence buzzes against the stagnant hush of the office. My phone lights up again, another text from Melissa. I grit my teeth, ignoring the impulse to throw it at the wall. In a moment of impulsive resolve, I unlock my screen. She's written, Drew, I'm begging you. Come home tonight. Let's talk. Please. I love you. I text back a single word. Timmy. She responds almost immediately. He's at school now. I'll pick him up later. Can we talk after dinner? I don't reply. Instead, I forward my boss an excuse about urgent personal matters and pack up. My coworker, Brent, notices. You okay, man? My stare must be distant. Family stuff. I mutter and leave. I drive straight to a DNA testing clinic downtown. The sign is small, discreet. Inside, a receptionist politely asks how she can help. My mouth feels dry, but I force out the words. I need a paternity test. She hands me papers, outlines the process. I'll need a cheek swab from me and from Timmy. My stomach tightens as I thank her. By tomorrow, I'll have the kit. That's step 1. Leaving, I feel a fresh wave of anger. The fact I have to do this at all is humiliating. Then I recall the phone call Timmy overheard. Possibly more truths lie in Melissa's chat logs. So I call a private investigator recommended by a friend. Let's call him Steve. He picks up on the second ring, voice measured. I explain. I suspect my wife's cheating. I need phone logs. Anything you can get. I have her phone number. I know the guy's first name. Gabriel Martins. Possibly works in tech sales. Steve makes some notes. Understood. I can do a discreet background check. Gather phone records if you provide me with any suspicious phone bills. Our retainer is $500. Fine. I say. The rest of the day is a blur. Me pacing the city, skipping lunch. I'm supposed to be at the office, but I can't face diagrams and mechanical specs right now. My life is on fire, and I'm holding a half-empty extinguisher. Eventually, I end up in a diner near the highway, sipping terrible coffee from a chipped mug. The bitter taste lingers on my tongue, a physical manifestation of the bitterness gnawing inside me. My phone dings. Unknown caller. I pick up. Hello. A man's voice. Uncertain. Drew. I frown. Yes. He clears his throat. It's Gabe. Please don't hang up. I need to talk to you. My entire body tenses. You've got nerve calling me. I know, but I'm not trying to hurt you, man. This situation got out of hand. Anger roars in my ears. Out of hand. You had sex with my wife in our bed. It's beyond out of hand. He sighs, contrition or maybe fear lining his voice. I didn't know the full story. Melissa, she said you two were basically separated, that the relationship was loveless. My heart thunders. Separated. Loveless. We were never separated. Did she spin that tale to justify sleeping with him? He continues. Look, I'm backing off. I'll never contact her again. I just wanted you to know. I'm sorry. I messed up. And about Timmy, she implied maybe I could be. My hand grips the phone so hard my knuckles ache. You think Timmy might be yours? He hesitates. She mentioned a fling 8 years ago. That was before I even met her. We only started hooking up a few months ago. I don't know what's true. It's messing with my head. Rage flares. I don't care about your head, Martinez. Stay the hell away from my family. He exhales. I will. Trust me, it's over. I'm leaving the city for a sales conference next week. I won't bug you or Melissa again. Before I can unleash a tirade, he hangs up. I hurl my phone onto the table, ignoring the startled looks from other patrons. The nerve of that bastard, calling me as if I'd appreciate an apology. I press my hands to my forehead. I can't process all this. But one thing is clearer now. Melissa told Gabe a story, painting our marriage as dead. Possibly she used Timmy's uncertain paternity as some twisted confession or manipulation. I pay for my coffee and drive aimlessly for a while, thoughts swirling. Should I confront her tonight? Demand to know every detail. Part of me wants to collect more evidence first. Keep the element of surprise, because she's clearly still lying. The best vengeance is thorough. And I'm not about to let her or Gabe slip away unscathed. By sunset, I force myself home. The living room lamp glows. Timmy's action figures scattered across the floor. Melissa is in the kitchen, cooking spaghetti. The smell of tomatoes and herbs tries to conjure normalcy, but it only churns my stomach. Timmy rushes up to me, hooking his arms around my waist. Hey, Dad. Mom said I can watch my favorite movie after dinner if I finish my homework. Can we watch together? My heart cracks. Sure, buddy. Let's eat first. Melissa stands by the stove, eyes downcast. I made enough for all of us, she murmurs. We sit at the table. The only sound is the clink of forks. Timmy chatters about school, about some spelling bee next week. I nod along, trying to summon a smile. Melissa occasionally meets my gaze, pleading silently. I hardly taste my food. After dinner, Timmy goes to watch his movie. I follow Melissa into the hallway, confronting her in a low voice. Why did Gabe call me? Her face pales. He called you? I didn't know. My jaw tightens. He says he's cutting contact. But he also mentioned Timmy's paternity. How many men did you tell this story to? Because from where I stand, you never mentioned it to me. Tears glisten on her lashes. I was confused for so long. I told him. I confided in him. Okay. It's not an excuse. I feel horrible. Horrible. You sure didn't look horrible last night when I walked in. She flinches, hugging her arms. Drew, I know I broke your trust. I'll do anything to fix this. Therapy, counseling, you name it. Too late for that. I snap. But we are doing a DNA test for Timmy. She looks stricken. And if you're not the father? A flash of white-hot rage. He's my son. I've been his father his whole life, so don't even question whether I'll abandon him. But you and I pause, forcing calm. I'm speaking to a lawyer. Consider our marriage on the brink. Her lips tremble. Don't do this. Drew, please. I walk away, ignoring her despair. She calls after me, but I head downstairs to my workshop. Flick on the overhead bulb. This is my refuge among battered tools, half-finished gadgets, and the smell of sawdust. Only now, the solace is gone. My head throbs with images of them locked in passion, the possibility that Timmy isn't mine. Still, I start tinkering with an old radio, just to keep my hands busy. Sparks fizz from the wire. I yank it back, cursing under my breath. Usually, I'm methodical, but now I'm a live wire too. My phone pings. A text from the private investigator. Need more info about Gabriel's workplace. Also, if possible, get me a phone bill from your wife's line. We'll talk tomorrow. I swallow the thick tension in my throat. I already have copies of our family plan bills. I'll hand them over. Let Steve dig. I want every detail. Where they went, how often, any gifts exchanged. I want the ugliness laid bare, so I can figure out the next step. Upstairs, Timmy's movie ends. I hear him trudging to his bedroom, the floorboards creaking. Melissa's voice is a hushed lullaby, likely reading him a story or singing a bedtime song. Scenes from our old life flash. Nights we read Goodnight Moon together. A family. Love. Was that real or a polished illusion? When Timmy's door finally clicks shut, I climb upstairs. Melissa's leaning against the living room wall, arms folded, eyes red from crying. She musters a broken whisper. I'm sorry, Drew, if you want me to leave. This is my house, I say, voice cold. My name on the mortgage. You should be the one packing, but I won't throw you out yet. Timmy needs you. We'll see how this pans out after I get all the facts. She draws a shaky breath. I understand. Without looking at her, I make my way to the guest room. I lock the door behind me. For hours, I lie awake, the tension a live presence in the darkness. I picture 1,000 scenarios of revenge. Humiliating her in front of neighbors, exposing Gabe to his company, or taking Timmy and disappearing. My mind scrambles for solutions, but no scenario ends with the heartbreak undone. Eventually, exhaustion wins. I drift into a shallow sleep, haunted by nightmares of that bedroom scene. I stand in my garage on a muggy Saturday morning, methodically packing a box with random tools. My mind cycles with the same question. How far will I go for revenge? Because I can't just let this pass. She shattered my trust, my sense of self. It needs resolution. Violent or not, I'm not sure yet. Yesterday, the private investigator called. Steve managed to pull phone logs showing dozens of calls between Melissa and Gabe over the past few months. They met in hotels, sometimes at Gabe's downtown condo. My stomach churned as I learned they used my business trips as prime opportunities. The final gut punch. A mention of her phone's text messages referencing Timmy's father. She wrote to Gabe, "What if the old fling from years ago was your friend? I can't keep lying to Drew." So she's known for a long time that Timmy might not be mine. I flick open the lighter in my pocket, run my thumb over the metallic edge. For a second, I imagine the sweet release of burning all our wedding photos. My phone buzzes. Caller ID. Dad. With a sigh, I pick up. Hey, Dad. Andrew, your mother says we haven't heard from you in a while. Everything okay? I consider telling him everything, but Dad is old school. If he hears about Melissa's infidelity, he might drive here and start yelling. I'd rather handle this alone. I'm dealing with some stuff, Dad, but I'll work it out. He makes a concerned noise. Don't shoulder everything yourself. You know we're here. I appreciate it. I say, voice tight. I'll call you soon. I hang up, pockets trembling. My father always told me to keep my word. I kept it through our vows. Melissa didn't. A quiet knock on the garage door. Melissa steps inside, holding a letter. This came for you. It's the paternity test kit. My pulse spikes. Thanks. She lingers. So, you're really going to do that? I meet her gaze, unwavering. Yes. She exhales shakily. All right. We'll do it, if that's what you need. I push past her, heading into the house. Timmy's in the living room, building a tower with his Legos. I kneel beside him. Hey, buddy. I need to do a quick swab in your mouth. It's for medical reasons, like checking your health. He looks confused. I'm sick. No, I say gently, just a test. Won't hurt. Melissa stands behind me, arms wrapped around herself. Timmy nods, opening his mouth. My hand shakes so violently I can barely manage the swab. Then I do mine. I seal both in the kit. Melissa doesn't speak. Timmy returns to his Legos, oblivious to the gravity of what we just did. I step outside. Melissa follows. I'm taking this to a courier, I say. We'll get the results in a couple of days. She touches my arm lightly. I shrug her off. Drew, she whispers. I'm terrified. Good, I snap. You should be. 2 days later, the results arrive. I open the email in my parked car, phone trembling in my hand. My breath stalls as I read the outcome. 99.99% probability of paternity. Andrew Lawson is the father. A wave of relief hits so strong that tears sting my eyes. Timmy is mine. Thank God. But the next wave is fury. I went through all this pain, all this doubt, because she lied and withheld the truth. I head home. Melissa's in the kitchen, fiddling with a dish rag. She looks at me expectantly. I toss my phone onto the counter. Congratulations, I'm Timmy's father. She starts sobbing, covering her mouth. I always thought you were. But, save it, I bark. We could have done this test years ago. Instead, you let me suffer. She tries to approach me, but I take a step back. Don't, I warn. It doesn't change the fact that you slept with Gabe. In our bed. She crumples into a chair, tears streaming. Drew, I know I can't fix what I did, but I want to try. Try. I laugh bitterly. I'm done trying. I have something else in mind. Her eyes flick up, alarmed. What do you mean? Revenge, I say, voice like steel. I'll destroy your perfect image, and Gabe's too. You both are going to pay. She stands, panic crossing her face. Drew, please, I'll do anything. Just don't hurt Timmy in all this. A humorless grin pulls at my lips. I won't hurt him. I love that boy. But you and Gabe, different story. The next morning, I gather my plan. Step 1. I forward all the PI's findings to Melissa's main marketing clients, tastefully packaged in an email that references her questionable ethics. Step 2. I text Gabe, threatening to expose him to his company's HR department with proof of how he's been using corporate accounts for personal rendezvous. I also mention a potential restraining order. My phone pings as I sit in my car outside Gabe's downtown condo, waiting. He emerges from the front entrance, glancing over his shoulder. I get out, stepping right in his path. His eyes widen. Drew, what the hell are you doing here? I grip his collar, slamming him against the brick wall. Passers-by freeze. You thought you could sleep with my wife and walk away unscathed. He gapes. Dude, I told you. I'm sorry. I'm leaving soon for a conference. I won't come near her again. I yank him closer, voice low, seething. I sent everything to your boss. Screenshots of your texts, proof you used the company credit card for hotel rooms with Melissa. His face goes pale. You can't. My job. I sneer. It's done. Enjoy unemployment. I release him with a shove, my fists itching to do more damage. My body thrums with adrenaline. I want to punch him until his face is unrecognizable. But a crowd is gathering, and I won't risk a jail sentence for his sake. He sputters. I'll sue you for defamation. Good luck. I snarl. I have actual proof. And if you come near me or my family again, I swear you'll wish you'd never met me. Leaving him stunned against the wall, I stride back to my car, heart pounding. Gabe might try to push back, but I'm prepared. The beast inside me roars with savage satisfaction. I destroyed his safe little world. When I get home, Melissa is in tears, phone buzzing non-stop with furious messages from clients. They're canceling contracts, she wails. They said my personal conduct conflicts with their brand values. I give a harsh chuckle. Actions have consequences, dear wife. She reaches for my arm, but I yank away. You're throwing away my career. I glare at her. You threw away our marriage. Consider this the bill. She collapses against the sofa, sobbing. Any lingering pity in me is drowned by the memory of her and Gabe. I kneel, forcing her to meet my eyes. And we're done. I'm filing for divorce. She gasps, tears streaking her face. But Timmy, I'll fight for custody, I vow, because you don't deserve him. She breaks down, voice ragged. You're punishing me. Fine, but Timmy will suffer too. My jaw tightens. I'll make sure he doesn't. I'll get sole custody if I can. You can see him if the court allows. Drew, please, don't do this. I stand, a terrible calm washing over me. You reap what you sow. Part IV. Resolution, approximately 1,000 words. The day after I file for divorce, an odd hush settles over the house. Melissa moves through rooms like a ghost, eyes rimmed red. Timmy senses the tension. He corners me in the kitchen. Dad, why's Mom crying all the time? I kneel, leveling with him. Sometimes, adults, they hurt each other, and we have to figure out new ways to live. His lip trembles. I don't want you to go. I swallow hard. I'm not going anywhere, but your mom and I, we can't stay married. He sniffles. So, I have to move. You'll stay with me, I say softly, but you'll see Mom too. No matter what, we love you. Melissa appears in the doorway, hands trembling. She and Timmy lock eyes, and he runs to her. She scoops him up, burying her face in his hair. My chest clenches. I hate seeing him in pain. But I won't compromise now. The wheels are already turning. A week passes. I move into the guest room permanently while we arrange finances and wait for the legal process to churn forward. We discuss a visitation schedule for Timmy. She tries to reason with me, softly in the mornings, tearfully at night. I remain stone-faced. My private investigator's final invoice arrives. Worth every penny. Gabe lost his job. I've heard rumors he's moving back to Santa Fe. Good. Meanwhile, I approach Timmy's teacher to explain the changes at home. She's kind, supportive, but the pity in her eyes irritates me. One evening, I'm out on the back porch, gazing at the setting sun. The sky is a tumult of oranges and purples. I remember the day we bought this house. Melissa was pregnant, glowing with excitement. She ran through these empty rooms, imagining a nursery, a future. My chest tightens with regret for all that's lost. She steps onto the porch behind me. Drew, she begins, voice raw. I know you hate me. But can I say one thing? I give a curt nod, not looking at her. I never wanted to hurt Timmy. I never thought it would end up like this. I stare at the horizon. But you did. Tears streak down her cheeks. I know I can't erase it, but please, someday, can you forgive me? Forgiveness. The concept feels alien right now. My anger has fueled me for days. Yet a tiny voice inside wonders if continuing to hate her will only poison me. I breathe in, eyes fixed on the sunset. I don't know, Melissa. Maybe not today, maybe not in a year. But I have to let this go eventually, for Timmy's sake. She nods, tears dripping. I understand. Then she steps back inside, leaving me alone with the cicadas' evening chorus. The following weekend, we finalize a separation plan, a custody schedule, who gets what in the house, how to handle finances until the divorce is official. I watch her sign the paperwork with trembling fingers. Afterward, I pack a suitcase and gather Timmy's essentials. We're moving out. It's ironic. This was once my house, but I can't stand these walls anymore. She insists she has nowhere else to go, so the house is still at stake in the divorce negotiations, but for now she stays. I'd rather start fresh somewhere else. Timmy stands in his half-empty room, confusion etched on his face. Dad, are we leaving all my toys? I ruffle his hair gently. We'll come back for them if we need to. Mom can bring them over. Let's just take your favorites for now. He nods, clinging to my side. I lug our bags to the driveway. Melissa follows us, tears threatening. She kneels in front of Timmy, hugging him. I love you so much, she whispers. He hugs her back, tears gleaming in his eyes. Then he moves to the passenger seat, quietly buckling himself in. I turn to face her. Our gazes lock, a tangled web of pain, guilt, betrayal. "I'm sorry," she whispers. I say nothing, simply close the car door. I start the engine, reversing out of the driveway. Her figure shrinks in the rearview mirror. We drive in silence for a while, Timmy gazing at the passing houses. After a few minutes, he asks, "Where are we going?" "To a short-term rental," I say. "A friend of mine is out of town, so we can stay at his place for a bit." He nods, small shoulders trembling. "Dad, can we still watch movies together?" My chest tightens. "Of course, bud. Nothing's going to stop that." He settles back in his seat, maybe finding some comfort in my promise. 2 weeks later, I stand outside the courthouse. My lawyer assures me the divorce will be straightforward. Melissa isn't contesting the allegations. We have indisputable evidence, plus her confession. She's agreed to an uncontested divorce to avoid a lengthy, humiliating trial. I'm set to get majority custody of Timmy, though she'll have visitation. Despite my fury, I want them to maintain a bond. She may be a horrible wife, but she's Timmy's mother. I sign the final papers. The courthouse corridor echoes with my footsteps. It's done. I'm free from the toxic swirl of her lies, though the pain still lingers like a splinter in my chest. Outside, bright summer sun floods the streets. Pedestrians bustle about, unaware of my personal war. I slip on my sunglasses, inhaling deeply. The air tastes like possibility, tinted with the bitterness of the last few weeks. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. "You ruined my life. Man, I hope you're happy. Must be Gabe." I delete it without replying. I am not happy, but I feel a savage satisfaction. I sank their illicit relationship, torched their illusions, and protected Timmy. At least I followed my own moral code. Family first. Later that night, Timmy's in bed at the rental place. I stand by the living room window, looking out over the city lights. It strikes me how drastically life can change in the blink of an eye. One day, you think your marriage is stable. The next, you're forging divorce papers and unraveling betrayal. My mind drifts to the future. Timmy will ask more questions. Someday, he might resent me for how fiercely I destroyed his mother's life. Or maybe he'll understand, in his own time, that trust once broken can't be mended with mere apologies. I think about my father's words again. When your heart is broken, your mind must do the work. I did the work. I uncovered the lies, delivered vengeance, and ended a marriage built on deception. I stare at my reflection in the window. Haunted eyes, shoulders tense. The cost has been high, but I refuse to let regret consume me. Tomorrow, I'll wake up and help Timmy get ready for school. I'll face my job with the same diligence as always. Maybe I'll find therapy. Maybe I'll bury myself in projects. Either way, I won't be the same man I was. In the distance, sirens wail, mingling with the hum of traffic. Life goes on, unstoppable. I close my eyes, letting the moment settle. Despite the heartbreak, I feel an odd sense of release. I have no illusions left. I'll shape my new life with honesty and caution. The final image that swims into my mind before I turn off the lights is the memory of Timmy's smile. Innocent, trusting. I may have lost a wife, but I'll keep my son safe. And maybe, in time, I'll recover the parts of me that she shattered. For now, the emptiness echoes, but within that emptiness lies a promise. I'm free to begin again. End of story.